also from the same course. They came up with this idea to start an organization, and that's how, I'm here today and talking before you all. So uh, the book came in, and then on its own, we all believe, everybody, you take everyone's story, like Neha's story, or my story, or Gitika's story, it's all very organic. It's sure, just naturally it was flowing through, and I just wrote a book as a tribute because, I thought I have not done much for my husband. I was so busy taking care of my kids. So that's how it was. And then my friend came up with an idea of making a documentary, and that's how the second year of making the book, we got a documentary in place. We came to IMA. It was during the COVID, dodging all the COVID lockdowns. We came here to IMA and shot with all his cosmates, because I can tell maybe my part of the story, but his IMA days were obviously had to be shared with his cosmates. So that's
it would have been empty without the IMA days in it.
Yeah, so I'm really, this place is really sacred for me. I was telling one of the person I met the other day that for you all IMA may be an institution, but for us, like I'm sure all the veterans here in the room would agree, it's a temple where they all bonded and they learnt, and they still go there and they celebrate.
A home away from home, actually.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, Gitika, I want to know, since yours is a love story, will you share with us one of your most beautiful memories of you and Tony sir together?
That's a hard one.
I know your life has been full of them, but something that you always look back to in your moments of despair.
I think, so he was not a romantic person. I mean, I don't even remember a moment where I was asked, will you marry me? I was just told, I will marry you. So,
really? Yeah. He just came and said, that's
oh, there was no such.
Nahi,
shaadi to tumse kar hi lunga. I mean, that kind of a, by the way, kind of a statement. So I have never been courted. And I have been deeply in love from the time I met him, which was when I was 17 years old. So then one fine day, and it is in the book, one fine day, I was working at Indian Express, and I used to get over by 6 o'clock, and he was doing a course in Pune, and the course to 8 baje tak khatam ho jata hai. So inevitably, I used to share a flat with 3 girls. So sham ko we used to meet at my place for chai, and then plan out dinner mein kahan jana hai. So that was our daily routine in the evening. And one day I told him कि आप कल नहीं आना because मैं late आऊँगी, office से बाद कहीं जाना है. So it was very strange for him not to know कहाँ जाना है. There were no names and something. So he said, why? कहाँ जाना है? So I said, hey, nothing important, but Deepti, my flatmate, Deepti मेरे को कहीं लेके जा रही है. And why? Where are you going? I said, no, because my flatmate said that, abhi teri shaadi. Finally, our parents had agreed, and finally we were to get married next 2-3 months mein. So he said, she said, abhi, you're going to get married. I have scars on my face which are, remnants of acne. So I'm very conscious about that. And I was very conscious that in terms of a lot of his people, and a lot of people used to say, he's very handsome. So मुझे लगता था मैं बिल्कुल भी ठीक नहीं हूँ. So I said, she's taking me to a place where that doctor will give me some skin treatment for some skin cream or something which will peel away my scars. And that day he said, I like you with your scars, so let them be. And I think that was the most profound thing that he's ever said. And today I always feel that, now that I read a lot about Japanese philosophy, and I feel that there is that lovely philosophy they have of that art of kintsugi, where they say that whenever you being in love with the broken pieces, when a piece of vase of porcelain will break, and if you don't throw it away and you bring back the pieces and mend them with molten gold, that is the art of kintsugi. And they say that the mended porcelain vase will be finally more beautiful than the vase itself. I feel 30 years ago, he was giving me this message that finally scars are beautiful, scars have a story, and scars talk of resilience and fortitude and wisdom. Scars bring you that wisdom.
Imperfections make us perfect. Like they say, ki chand pe bhi daag hai. So, that is beautiful. What a beautiful, beautiful, touching story. Thank you for sharing it with us. Shakuntala ji, there's a very interesting inference you make in your book where you talk of the Ramayana and Mahabharata also being, our Indian heritage, our civilization is based on two cataclysmic wars. And you relate that to what the army and the defense forces go through, and your husbands as well. So, what do you think, or what brought on that inference in your book? Why would you compare it to the wars that were fought for righteousness? What is the correlation between that and the army?
Basically, Ajit was posted in 25 RR at that time, and we had just come out of Kargil war, and but there were terrorists, as you know, everywhere. They were there, and so they are, army is the good part of the war which we are fighting, the good side, and the anti-social elements, the terrorists are the bad side. So, it's a continuous war, and it has. It is there in during that time, and it still continues. Good and evil are two sides of the same coin.
The yin and the yang.
And there's nothing to go beyond that. And also, in relative to this point, the lessons what we have learned in Mahabharata and Ramayana is applicable even in today's world, right? So struggles, life's ups and downs, everybody, right from Arjuna, right from Sri Krishna, right from Sri Rama, everybody has faced. So we are mere mortals, right?
But Shakuntala ji, how did you have the strength and courage to send both your sons to the army after losing your husband? That must have been a very, very tough decision.
Yeah, this is a very commonly asked question in my sessions, but I will just tell you very briefly. I always tell that it's not their decision, it's not my decision. Till grade 12, I didn't know what they were doing. I just, like a good mother, I just allowed them to grow in a healthy way, happy way. Okay, do, but tell me what is your goal. So as a counselor, I put that question in them, just give me your goal. And one fine day, my elder son says, I want to join the army, and that's how he joins the army. And see, when he said he wants to join the army, I know it's a very long journey and it's a tough journey. So why should I stop him when at the very first step of applying for it? So that's how, as a good mother with a very hard heart, I just didn't stop him. And I'm happy and proud today that he could clear it, and he's doing well in his career. And so also Akshay is doing very well. He's a submariner in the Indian Navy. So it was his choice. They got selected, and they're there now serving and following the footsteps of their dad.
Wow, that is really, really tough.
Thank you.
That's so nice. Geetika, coming to you, I know you're a very strong woman, but how has losing Tony sir, how has that changed your perspective on life and on spirituality? You are inherently very spiritual, but it's normal, it's human nature to, when something bad happens, you just turn up, to the sky and say, why me? But you never once said that. So how do you think your perspectives on life have evolved?
So, to begin with, nobody is brave. I think bravery is a function of your circumstances. There are times when there is no option but to be the way you are, because there is no one else around you to hold you, and that seems to be the right way forward. Tarini is sitting right here, and we share our bond of grief, and I exemplary kind of resilience that time, and we all worrying for each other that how is she going to take it and how is she going to take it, and I think we all made it. So in a way, and that day we had an incident, but today we have a journey. We have done 3 years, and we can actually look back and say that we have been through a very tough journey, but not without fear. But the faith was always stronger than the fear. And before this accident, before this incident, I was deeply religious. I was into 2 fasts a week and a whole lot of things. And after that, I realized nothing like that works. Then I have turned to spiritualism, where I have realized that if you ask why, I never asked God why when life was so good to me, when everything was just like, flowing like a charmed life that we led. So if this has happened, why must I ask why? So there has to be a preordained path for me to walk, and that is what I deeply believe. That I believe in the beauty of impermanence and in the beauty of imperfection, which is wabi sabi, which I follow. And actually, it is also akin to our philosophy of the Nandi, which waits outside the Shiv temple with Dharya and Samarpan. So I do feel that the moment you say I accept and you turn out the why, if I ask the why to the heavens above, then I would still be standing at 8th December 2021. I will not move on, because the day it happened, my family thought it's not just him we've lost both of them, the way I was.
Right.
But I just don't know where it comes from, but I'm just very, very grateful to the forces that they helped me.
And the Japanese philosophy that you mentioned, both Kintsugi and Wabi Sabi, very, very popular. And I think that if we were to live with that thought that nothing is permanent, as you say, we would actually live simpler, better, more beautiful lives. You know, I really, really respect that. Shakuntala ji, how has your perception, the same question to you, how has your perception on life changed during the course of the book and while going through what you did? Please take that.
So I mean, life is full of ups and downs in for all, and we have to just take it with the flow and get going, be positive, and that's how I have been.
Thank you. And how do you keep your husband's spirit alive in your everyday, for both of you? Gitika, you'd like to start first?
So I just, I talk to him all the time. There are conversations in my head, and I dress like he